on that end. Let's close that and that. Oh, and all your stuff came through, so we're good there. Okay. All right.
Cool.
We are ready to roll in 3, 2, 1.
Everything that lives is designed to end. We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death. Is this a curse?
Who is this? Identify yourself, damn it!
The Morning Stream, now gluten-free.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to TMS. It is the Morning Stream for Monday, November 2nd, Day of the Dead, 2020.
Dia del Muerte.
Oh, no, mi no bueno. I can't do it. I don't have that.
I just think of that scene from Quick Change. Underappreciated Bill Murray movie called Quick Change with Gina Davis and Randy Quaid, where everything bad happens to this couple in one night. Jason Robards is chasing them. They're running from the law, and as they're going down a back alley or this dark street, there's a woman selling flowers, a Latin woman selling flowers, and she just keeps going, "La floras for los muertos, los muertos."
She's quite the
So
salesman.
whenever I talk about Day of the Dead, I have to say it in her voice.
That's fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's not one of the Bill Murrays I've seen.
It is. It's fantastic. It's such an underappreciated. I guess we didn't watch it for Film Sack.
You kept saying if this comes up, we have to watch it. You've said that.
Yeah,
a
but
lot,
I don't know. I mean, God, would it work for Film Sack? Yeah, it probably would work for Film Sack.
Given how old are we talking here? Is that 80s, 90s?
Late 80s, maybe early 90s.
Let's see. What's it called again? Sorry.
Quick Change.
Quick Change.
Bill Murray is a guy who robs a bank dressed as a clown.
Oh, this is right. 1990, right after Ghostbusters 2. So sandwiched between that and What About Bob was Quick Change.
There you go. Okay.
And
that works.
Yeah, it's yeah, you're right. Bill Murray, Gina Davis, Randy Quaid. There they are.
Well, yeah, thanks.
I was really questioning the cast until I was able to confirm it.
Until you confirmed.
Confirmed, everybody. Confirmed.
Yes.
Anyway, well, that's fantastic. I hope everybody had a nice Halloween, a safe one, and all that stuff. We just put a bowl out and said, take one.
Did you? And how well did that work?
It did. It worked, actually. We kept an eye on it just because we were curious and we wanted to see what would happen. I mean, they didn't know we were keeping an eye on it. We just did it. And kids would come and they would look at the sign and then take one and go. It never had a problem all night.
So all the kids reaching into the same bowl with their COVID hands.
Well, that part, that's why we left the bowl out. Let's put it that way. Because we knew that's what,
Let the kids spread it amongst each other, just not to us.
Not to us. Don't bring it here. And even though we could have, our COVID hands could drop it into their COVID bag. We just felt better about that, so we didn't do that. But it was a weird Halloween because normally we're all about the door and then, yay, and who are you supposed to be?
Of course, yeah.
All that. But we didn't do it.
I hastily built at 4:00.
Yeah.
On Halloween, I decided, you know what? I'm going to build that Halloween shoot that we saw on like Pinterest or Twitter or whatever it was. There was like a little stand with a little chute and a skull at the front of the chute, and the candy would come out.
Mm-hmm.
And
shoot! It's the candy shoot!
Mm-hmm. It's a shoot!
Mm-hmm.
And I already had smaller PVC pipe that I use when I do the green screen behind me. I have a rig that I've built out of PVC pipe and elbows and legs and things like that that I can assemble and disassemble in minutes. But what I didn't have was a length of PVC pipe that was large enough to accommodate Kit Kat and Snickers and stuff like that.
I see. Okay.
So ran up to the old Ace Hardware, a couple blocks up the road in my Spider-Man costume, and bought about an 8-foot length of PVC pipe, and then proceeded to build it with enough slope, because you don't want to have too little slope.
Right.
You want to have enough slope that you can still reach it comfortably and that the kids don't have to squat down on the ground to grab the candy, but it's still got enough slope that the candy will travel down through it.
What'd you do for an exit, for like an exit hole?
Oh, I went and bought I also bought a skull. I bought a skull head like months ago thinking I was going to do this and didn't do anything about it until Halloween. So I dremeled out the hole the same size as the PVC pipe in the back of the skull's head.
Was that a weird experience? Can I just ask that real quick? Was that a weird thing to drill into the back of the head?
Yes, it really was. I was thinking about that the whole time.
That would weird me out.
Spray painted because I didn't want just a stark white PVC pipe, so I spray painted it blood red.
Yeah.
And then put the skull on the end of it. Bungee corded it to a tall stand in the back and a short stand in the front with little legs that stuck out, so relatively stable.
Sure.
A strong wind could have knocked this thing left or right, but it wasn't moving forward or back.
Okay.
And then tried it out, and we're like, okay, well, everything works in here except for the peanut butter cups and the milk duds, because the milk duds come in little boxes and they're just too big for the pipe. And the Reese's they're wide enough that they fit down the pipe just fine,
right.
But there's too much surface area on the side that slow it down, and you want stuff that sits on the bottom of that pipe to get the maximum.
They're not super malleable. They'll like bend. They have the bend in the middle, sort of where the two cups meet, but they don't really bend. It's like,
what do you think what Rockefellers here? It's a fun size. It's one cup in a little bag. Come on.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to presume too much. Mr. Full Size
Mr. Getty.
Yeah.
If we're not handing out full size 2 peanut butter cup. So we decided, all right, well, we'll give those to the kids who just don't get that the chute is there for this and come to the door anyway. And we were really good about we had the door open. We could see when kids are coming. The dog would let us know. I had Deadpool's severed head in the window talking to every kid who came by. And like, hi, I'm Deadpool. Beep, 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 beep.
Nice.
Because he's censored, but he's a little F-bomby.
And all that takes is proximity. People just get close enough to it and it goes off.
No, I'd see them coming and I'd hit the button because I have the app open. And if you don't have him in the app where it says make me say shite, then he'll just keep talking constantly. But if you have the app open to the page where it's make me say shite, he won't talk until you hit one of the buttons on there, and it's greetings, goodbyes, insults.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So anytime I'd see kids on the sidewalk, I'd hit the greetings as the delay for me to grab my Spider-Man mask, yank it down over my head, get to the door with a bowl of candy to catch them as they get to the bottom of the chute.
Nice. Old man at its house. Good house to visit on Halloween, it turns out. I like it.
Yes. So here's how it would go 90% of the time.
Okay.
The kids would take their bag, they'd hold it under the little skull head, and I'd say, all right, I got 2 pieces of candy coming down. And I'd put the first one in and say, all right, here it comes. And you hear it go through the pipe, and it would go and they would drop in their bag. Here's what they would do. They would look down to see what just landed in their bag. They're taking inventory. Like, all right, is this good? Am I waiting? And then the second piece would come down, bonk them in the head.
So this happened more than once. This kept
happened 90% of the time. The kids, I'd tell them 2 pieces were coming down. I'd say, all right, here's the first piece. And then just as I'm sending the second piece down, they're pulling the bag away, looking down, and the candy ricochets off their head.
You think it's because they're stoked that they're getting... They think they're getting
they're excited about this contraption.
Right.
They're wanting to see, all right, what are these people giving? Are they giving out Nerds? Are they giving out Kit Kat? Or is this like Necco wafers hastily put together in a Ziploc?
Yeah, good point.
Now, and then we had, even with my elimination of the larger candies that get stuck in the chute, still had some malfunctioning, right? Because if you didn't put it down with a little bit of force, you kind of pop it down the pipe a little bit, give a little bit of a little helping push.
Sure.
Sometimes they'd get stuck, and the only thing you could do, because it was close enough to the house that putting another pipe down there to push things down just wouldn't work. So we'd just keep putting more candy in there until finally the weight of all that candy would send them all down to the bottom of the chute. So for some kids, this was a slot machine, right? It was basically, and then you get jackpot. Ding, 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 ding. Shoop, 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 shoop.
I love that. That's great. So wait, you know what you should have done just to irritate a kid? You should have taken a box of Nerds
Uh-huh.
And they just poured the nerds, open the nerds and just pour the nerds down there like a bunch of gravel.
we had Whoppers, and there was points I thought about doing that. I was just
Oh, I'd be
opening
so
a little
tempted.
packet of Whoppers and dropping them all down there.
I'd be so
Whoppers
tempted.
would move down the slide. The Whoppers in their packaging would go down the slide just fine. So would
And
Kit
so,
Kats, but
just from a technical standpoint, what is this?
Yes.
What is the steepness angle of the pipe? Like,
it's a little bit steeper than 45 degrees. I'd say it's probably close to 60 degrees.
okay, so there was no point where you were like, man, we really got to crank this up higher, or else we're not going to get the candy down the hole.
No. I mean, because like I said, if the Whoppers would go down fine, the Kit Kats would go down fine. The Heath bars were a little bit flat, so they'd make 2 points of contact. That was really it. The less points of contact, the better.
I love it. There's a science to this. It's great.
There's a science, exactly. But the parents loved it. They're like taking pictures of it. And at one point, so much stuff was stuck in the tube because I was like, all right, we'll just keep putting it. That were like, all right, well, this thing is starting to get full. And so I grabbed the pipe and I just start shaking it back and forth. Like I'm almost doing the shake weight demonstration here. And that's when the stand behind me decides to give way.
Oh no.
And disconnect.
No.
And the bungee cord holding the thing, those held just fine, but it was like the two elbows that were holding the pipe that the top of the chute was attached to came apart.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, well, shake it and just go crazy. And it dumped all the candy in the kids' thing. And then I'm like, all right, see ya, happy Halloween. Fortunately, it was the last kid, and so I had to turn around and sit there and reassemble things in my.
No reassemble, you said to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was Peter B. Parker for Halloween. Basically, I was Spider-Man shirt, ugly green jacket, jeans, and if I wanted to go 2 shoes that didn't match, I could have, but I didn't. I decided to go with house slippers.
It reminds me of something. I saw something that probably will cement your choice of a PlayStation 5, and this is it.
Okay. Oh, is it the Miles Morales?
Did you see that the Spider-Verse skin they gave him?
How it moves like the Spider, like how
It's
it moved in the Spider-Verse.
crazy looking. I can't believe how they pulled that off. I guess it's probably not that big of a pull off, but it looks insanely cool.
It looks really cool. Yeah.
And the way he's
basically,
like
here's the deal.
flying
When I
in
see
the air doing this, and like he's real sloppy with his swinging and everything.
Right,
It's great.
right. So it's beginning of the movie Miles Morales, not end of the movie Miles
Yeah,
Morales.
it's very cool.
Yeah, as soon as I see a PS5 available, I'm going to pick it up. But I'm not searching one out or,
You're not
you know,
trying to
putting a
snipe them
bounty or
online
anything
or
like
any of
that.
that. Yeah.
No.
I get you.
When I see one, I'll order it.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's kind of where I am this year with any of those sorts of things. I'm just like,
Mhm.
well, if it happens. I mean, here's the thing. None of my kids are little anymore, so there's no reason to have like a central console under a television other than, people coming over or whatever. And that hasn't been the same as it's been for a while. This thing will likely, whatever I end up with, will end up being in here for streaming reasons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like just buying another piece of business hardware in a weird way.
Yeah, right.
So it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
I want to tell my son, he won't hear this, but for all 20-year-olds with a dog living on their own in an apartment, I want to mention this. If you don't walk your dog before you drive a long distance, they will poo in the car.
This is true. Yes.
And that happened yesterday. Nick was coming out, Halloween. He came out here. Oh, I've even told you this. Kim made, for the first time, maybe since the early 2000s, Kim made homemade gumbo. Normally we're a jambalaya house because it's healthier, we like it better and all that sort of stuff. But once in a while you got to have a good gumbo. Gumbo's basically gravy food, but it's so freaking good. And so she went out and bought fresh caught wild crab. So you can buy that.
Okay.
Which means it was caught in the wild, not in a farm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She got shrimp, some pretty good shrimp from a place we trust that does good shrimp, despite the fact we're landlocked in the middle of Utah. You don't get great shrimp here.
Right, yes. Fresh caught, put on a truck, frozen, driven to Utah and delivered to them.
as best as you could, right? Or can.
Yeah,
but
of course,
so we do all of that. She makes this roux. It's insane. The only thing she didn't put in there is okra, because she doesn't really like okra, but that's usually the thing you put in there. Anyway,
wow.
How
does she not like okra?
We were
Jeez.
dying, Brian. Oh, it was so good. I can't even express in words how well we ate on Halloween night. It was so
That's awesome.
freaking good, and it looked great too because it was this giant metal pot with big crab legs hanging over the side of it.
It looked very Halloween-y.
It looked very Halloween-y. And the cool thing is the crab legs, you know, at the base of their body where there's like a lot of flesh there, but you kind of have to pick through the little
it's
shards.
basically where the legs connect.
Yes, that place. Because it sat in that roux for long enough, that part of the crab was browned with the roux. In other words, it had really seeped in there. Eating, Brian, it was so good. It was so good.
Right,
and the other problem is you can keep jambalaya around for a couple of, for like a week, and it keeps if you have leftovers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But gumbo, not so much.
If it left.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Seafood gumbo will 3 days in, and you're playing with fire. Like it's gonna be really fishy and weird, and even if you've kept it super refrigerated and all that, it doesn't matter. It starts to go bad, which is the other reason she doesn't make it that often. But if I could, I would have teleported a bowl of this to you and all the people I like in my life because it was insane.
I would have absolutely loved it.
It was so good. And Kim promises she'll put the recipe up, and we'll probably talk about it on Skim today. So
all right, little more food porn then, since we opened those floodgates.
Yeah.
Sous vide turkey thighs. So the crazy neighbor found this recipe for sous vide turkey confit, and that involved, sous videing. I see that look on your face.
Well, you said feet or
confit, CONFIT.
Oh, I thought you said feet, like their feet.
I think I might have pronounced the T. Confit, turkey confit.
Okay, anyway. That I can deal with. All right, you're fine.
Sous vide these turkey thighs in this marinade, this garlic and herb marinade, and then rendered duck fat. Oh. So all this was in the bag. Sous vide that for 17 hours, then took out the thighs, brushed all the duck fat off of them, had the duck fat and the turkey juice still in the bag. You get all the duck fat out of there, and then the turkey juice you used to make gravy. And then you put them in the oven for about at 500 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes to like crisp up the skin. This thing, we still have some left. It is the best turkey I've ever had, and I'm like trying to figure out how I can take a hatchet to our Thanksgiving turkey and fit all the pieces into bags and put it in the sous vide.
That sounds amazing. Man, we ate well this weekend is what we did.
We did eat well this weekend, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry anyone else out there who just ate candy or whatever, but we ate well.
Exactly.
That was awesome. We always try to do some sort of great dinnery thing on Halloween, but I think maybe from now on it's the gumbo because it was so well received. Dylan and Tay and the baby were here. And Nick and his poo dog, and it was amazing. Everybody just had the most wonderful meal we've ever had. But Nick, again, or anyone hearing this, if you don't walk your dog before you drive them across town when they've been in their kennel for a bunch of time, they're gonna poo in the car.
It's gonna happen.
And Boomer did that. She pooed in the car. And he called us like 5 minutes out and said,
I was totally thinking it was going to be the new puppy.
No, she's with us. She's with us. Nick lives downtown with his other dog.
Right. Okay, yes. So it wasn't your car. Good.
No, right. Definitely not my car. Thank goodness. So he's driving up here and 5 minutes away, he calls and goes, he's on speaker. He goes, could someone meet me outside with like some paper towels and some like stuff like that? And we're like, what's the matter? And he goes, I think I'm pretty sure the dog took a giant dump in the back seat of the car, and I'm like, all right, we'll be there. So we took care of it, and they were trick-or-treaters while we were trying to do it, so he's out
even
front,
better. Yes,
and there are kids around, and I'm like running around with a bag of poo and
Here, would you like some full-size Tootsie Rolls?
They're fresh, we made them ourselves. That's fantastic. Anyway, we hope you all had a good thing, and one final note. I think it must have been either you or Nicole because it's only the three of us.
It was Nicole because I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list to watch. So
you gotta watch this. So that documentary about Galaxy Quest called "Never Surrender, Never." What is it? Never.
Yeah.
What's the phrase? Never surrender, never give up, or whatever it is.
Something like that.
The Galaxy Quest documentary that's on Prime right now. I adored that.
That's cool.
And it makes me just want to watch Galaxy Quest like right freaking now.
It's just called Never Surrender. That's it.
Never Surrender. And it's got an amazing quote in there. It starts with this quote by David Mamet, who's like this famous play and movie writer, just known for whatever. and he says the four greatest
House of Games.
four greatest films ever made, and he says The Godfather, and then some French thing I'm not heard of, and then some other highfalutin movie, and then the last one, Galaxy Quest.
Really?
Yeah. And when they
Wow.
get into the reasons why that movie is so good, why it holds up, why it was great then, why it's still great today, you realize, it's a weird coming together of all the right things. How Sam Rockwell refused to do the movie over and over, and now he said that would have been his greatest regret in the world because he loves it. Tim Allen says all sorts of stuff I didn't expect Tim Allen to say about it. Sigourney Weaver's in this does tons of interviews. It's awesome.
That's
So
cool.
watch it.
Would you recommend? So it's been a while since I've seen Galaxy Quest. Would you recommend seeing Galaxy Quest and then watching this, or do you think that it covers so much ground? There's no reason to watch Galaxy Quest right before watching this.
Oh man, that's a really good question. Had I had the forethought, I kind of wish I would have. Well, either way, it's making me want to see it again. But I think it would be a fun thing to see it and then see all this talk about it. So I'd actually recommend that if you're up for it, is to watch it and then watch this. Not that you don't have to.
I know you don't have to, but it was that it. But it obviously making you want to watch it means okay. Well, then we're going to watch Galaxy Quest and then watch.
And the other thing
Ray says watch before and after. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much time you've got, Wraith 86.
Yeah,
but,
geez, talk about having all the time in the world over there.
Exactly.
But this is no spoiler, but I didn't know. Well, maybe it is a spoiler. I won't say then. Okay. Let's just say that the passing of Alan Rickman had a really profound effect on all of it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So go watch
and
it.
Galaxy Quest is streaming, by the way, on HBO Max. So
correct.
If you have HBO Max, you can watch it there.
So watch it on Max, then go over to Prime, watch the documentary, and then what's his name in the chat? You can go watch it again if you want to. Whatever you want to do.
Cool.
Is my light very intense right now? Does it seem intense to you, Brian?
Doesn't look intense to me.
I got a new lighting thing, and I don't know if I have it set right, so I'm not going to worry about it.
No, it looks all right.
All right.
So we're bringing in Dunaway, right?
Yes.
We're just gonna gloss over the fact that this is episode 2015 and not talk about anything that happened.
Shit! I forgot to mention it.
I was like, all right, I'm just gonna I'm going against my better judgment, and I'm gonna bring it up.
You guys, it's episode 2015. You know what that means? It was the year, and I'll give you the following. It was the year of the second best movie of that year, What We Do in the Shadows, which spawned a wonderful TV series.
Yeah.
It was the year that we had the greatest Nerdtacular we ever put on. It was wonderful. It was my favorite, by far and away my favorite. And the year that Mad Max Fury Road came out.
All right, good deal. Now let's bring down.
Now we've done it. We're over it now. We're over it now. I don't have to.
Last thing I wanted to do is have the show tomorrow where you say, all right, 2016. Holy crap, we forgot to talk about 2015 yesterday.
That's a good point, and I'm glad you brought it up. Whoops, so not that. Here's the sound. Here's the car. Car moment. There you go. That's all you have to listen to.
Okay.
All right, check this out. Joining us right now, our good friend and pal from way down south, Mr. Brian Dunaway. Hello, welcome.
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian.
Hi.
Pal, friend.
Hi. It's nice to see you. How are you? Are you well? Are you good?
Well, right now, I'm just looking out my window and looking at all the people doing the last day of the pre-voting, and they all look very happy.
Are they out? Wait, where are you? Where you're seeing these people? Are you seeing them?
I'm at work. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
across the road from the polling place.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah.
That's nice. I would call that a good sign. People are out and engaged in their civic duty.
That's not 6 feet, people.
Nope. Get a cram in there, you mother scratchers. Anyway, well, good. I'm glad to have you here. We're gonna have a lot to talk about later at 3:30. By the way, I have something to tell you about on Boop Show that you're gonna lose your mind over. I cannot wait.
Oh, I can't wait to lose my mind. I'm tired of being sane. I'm so sick of being sane, Scott.
Yep.
I need to be insane. If you could just help me lose my mind,
All right.
that would be great.
Well, if you're in the membrane, we'll bring you the insane. Anyway, that's all coming up soon. Let's talk about our listener who's on the line, waiting very patiently to play Battle Royale today. Hi, who's this?
Hi, my name is Anthony.
Hello,
And,
Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
I'm Godbeats in the chat and Felici on Twitter.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
also known as the Logan guy.
Ah, the Logan guy. Very nice.
The Logan guy, yes.
Wait, you don't live in Logan, Utah, do you?
No, I was the one that was donating all the Logan
Yes, all the copies of Logan on
Oh,
4K.
that guy.
One of the prizes
He
today
was
is not
with
going to go
Logan
back
Berry.
to you.
Yeah, you're not going to get a copy of Logan today. We can promise you that.
Well, you're also not going to get a copy of Bumblebee 4K, which is in the prize pool to give
that's
to the
what I
person.
want.
Well,
Tough.
you know, you could, if you win today, Anthony, you have the choice of gifting Brian Dunaway the Bumblebee, the Bumblebee 4K that you would have won
Nice.
had you
Yeah.
not been the person who gave it to us.
Not bad.
Come on, Brian.
Everybody wins today. Well, it's good to have you here, Anthony. And we're going to go ahead and kick it off with Brian explaining how this works and what you could win.
Absolutely. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give Scott and Brian a topic. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, the win is going to go to the other player. Your job is to predict who's going to come out on top based on the topic. Today, you are playing for the prizes you will get, which are copies of Warhammer End Times Vermintide
Oh.
and Warhammer 40K Space Marine collection. The whole collection.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
You're
Yes,
speaking my language
and-
here. This is great.
That is courtesy of Racer 951. So big thanks to Racer 951 for contributing those.
Yeah.
And you won't
951,
get
is that
copy
a
of
car
Bumblebee
reference?
4K.
Is it?
What's that?
No.
951, is that a
I think
is that a
so. Yeah, I
is
think
that
that's
for like a Porsche or something? What is that?
might be. Yeah,
I don't know. Is there a Porsche 951? Is that a
I
thing?
think there is. Yeah, I think there
It
is.
sounds legit,
Don't you guys
but I
think
could totally be wrong.
in our
It's
youth,
one of the,
three of
one
us
of the
in our
famous looking Porsches. Is the
yeah,
951.
but in our youth, the three of us, it was all about the 911. That's the
and
car.
the
everyone wanted.
944.
Oh, and the
Yes.
944. Yeah.
Mhm.
That had the fat butt, right? The rounder.
That had the fat butt,
Yeah.
the more roundy butt.
But to me, like, you cannot say Porsche or any of the forms of that without me immediately thinking of the 911, because that's all anyone cared about when I was in high school.
911 Turbo, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh. Anyway,
Turbo.
all right.
Turbo.
Well,
That's a
All
rip
right.
off.
Anyway,
Yeah.
your topic is not that. Your topic
Oh.
comes to us. It'd be great though. Topic comes to us courtesy of Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
TMS Mashups Jamie, which this is a great one. I'm so glad he did this. He says, took me a long time to make this custom list, but here we go. Live action sitcoms, 30 minutes or less.
Yeah.
I don't know about less than 30 minutes, but 30-minute live action sitcoms that debuted in the 1980s. So from 1980 to 1989 and ran at least 120 episodes. So
Oh wow, that's getting pretty
So,
specific. Okay, so
no one season wonders, right? Now their
Right.
entire run didn't have to take place in the 90s, but they had to have launched in the 90s. He went through a list of 300 entries and weeded out cartoons, game shows, and fluffy little clouds, and got the following list of 23.
Wait, did you say 80s or 90s?
80s
hey, it started in the 80s,
Yeah,
but
you said
ended.
yeah,
TV
but that,
shows
no.
that launched in the 80s.
a second ago
But
you
no
said
end time.
90s.
No
I think-
end time. Just
Well, yeah, but a second ago you said 90s, and I think it was by
Oh,
accident.
did
I'm
I?
just
I
clearing
wonder
it. I'm
if,
just getting clarification.
sorry.
All right. we're
Sorry.
good.
So they may have ended in the 90s,
Okay.
but they started in the 80s.
Okay, fair enough.
and these are all okay. Wait, one more thing.
All 30-minute live action sitcoms, no animation.
Live action sitcoms started in the 80s.
In other
Has
words,
to
The
be
Simpsons
prime
is
time,
out.
or is it syndicated
time.
stuff too? Prime
are all
time.
prime
Okay,
time.
Yeah,
prime
and-
time.
Keep in mind,
Gotcha.
Simpsons is out because it's animated.
Simpsons is out because it's animated. Correct.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
Hey, I helped you. You may have said it. You never know.
So, as
all
you've heard the level
uh,
of confidence, who do you choose?
I know. I'm just looking to make sure there's no other information I need to give you. I think that's it. So,
No, wait. I do have one more question.
look at all that hair on Van. Holy
I know, he
cow!
has so much hair.
Does it have to be funny?
Hi.
Somebody had to have found it funny.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, there are 23 shows on the list.
23 shows.
23 shows on the list. And you, right now, Brian, I think you've got a distinct advantage because Scott is very distracted.
I'm
by
very
his
distracted.
grandson.
23. No,
Oh
I got
no.
it.
Okay, good.
23 shows.
All right.
I'm good. I'm good.
There you go. So Anthony, hearing the topic and seeing that Scott's attention is divided between his grandson and the game, who do you want to go first, and who do you think is going to win?
Oh, this is gonna be tough. I'm pretty sure they both watch TV.
TV.
Good choice.
TV.
I'm gonna go with Brian to win because he asked a lot of questions, so it sounds like he's trying to narrow it down.
Mhm.
And let Scott go first.
Okay. I like this,
Okay.
Anthony.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, Brian. Okay. So I'll start, and I'll say, I had one in my head.
I'll say.
The Cosby Show. The Cosby
The
Show.
Cosby Show.
Oh, very good.
Started
pick. That
in
was what I was going to say.
1984, ended in 1992, and had 197 episodes.
All right.
100. How many?
197 episodes.
That's a lot. That's a lot of.
Which is good.
Yo,
Yes.
you know, or whatever.
No.
That put it, by the way, at number 7 on this list.
Okay.
Right. I'm gonna go with Alf.
Alf.
Oh no, he's not out, is he?
Really?
He's not out right away, is
How
he?
far does Alf go? I mean, come on.
Alf is a
Eight.
terrible show.
Debuted in 1986,
that's
ended its run in 1990 after 103 episodes.
Oh, come on.
So sadly, Anthony loses, but I want to keep
I get a
going with
mulligan
this because
if I
there's
mess it
like,
right away, right?
What?
what's that?
I get a mulligan if I mess it up right away.
No.
Oh, is that a
that the
rule?
rule?
Like do a
That's what you
mulligan?
always do for Scott.
No, he doesn't. Sometimes. No, Brian just
Do a
said.
mulligan.
Brian is going
I
to say,
do
all right.
mulligan if I announce a
Chat
mulligan.
room. Chat room. How many times have we ended this show with Scott losing out on the first one? How many times, chat room? I want to hear from the chat room.
I mean, it's a fair
wanna
I
point.
hear.
kind of do like. I'm
wanna
just
hear.
gonna say right now. I kind of do like the idea of saying if the first answer you give is wrong, we automatically always do mulligans without, no matter who it is. I kind of like.
You know
that,
what?
just so
I will.
things
I will
keep
agree
going.
to this because I will benefit from it in future episodes. So I'm totally fine with it.
All right. Okay. So you're back in, Anthony.
I retract.
And we're
I
doing a
retract to
mulligan.
this. I'm taking this back. Okay, that doesn't exist anymore. That's
All right, Brian. You.
I'm going with Fox's Married with Children, which is what I should have went with being with.
You
I
should've
thought
went
Alf
with that
was a lot
first.
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Married with Children, number 2 on the list. 262 episodes. Started in 1987, ended in 1997.
Oh.
All right. See, there you go.
Shoujo, making up rules now? Yes, we are. But I like this. This will be official going forward from today forward. If the first answer out of your mouths is wrong, then then you'll get a mulligan.
Okay.
But now we're in. We're in. You guys have both given a correct answer, so we are in now.
Who's the boss?
Oh, that's a good
Who's
one.
the boss?
That's
Mona.
a good one.
Mona.
Mona. Launched in 1984, ended in 1992. 196 episodes. So, Who's the
Wow.
boss? Still in. Number 8 on the list if you're keeping score.
I feel like
Right.
I dodged a bullet. All right, Dunaway.
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't. Why didn't I say cheers to start with?
Why
I
didn't
mean,
you say?
I was
Why didn't
gonna
either
use
of you
them
say
next.
cheers
I know.
to start with?
I don't know. I thought for some reason I thought Scott had said that, and I was like, no, he said the Cosby Show, which he just said a few seconds ago or something. But yeah. Okay, I got
Yeah.
those confused.
Number
We're going with
1
Cheers.
on the list with 271 episodes. Started in 1982, ended in 93.
It's a great show.
It was a great show.
To this day. Go watch it again. It's great. All right. Let's keep with the must-see TV night or whatever the hell they call it then, and go with Family Ties.
Family
Oh.
Ties. 1982 to 1989. 172 episodes for Alex P. Keaton and the gang.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna stay with. Gonna
I
go
think
back
of it
with
more
the,
of a Michael Gross Tremors sort of success. Forget about Michael.
I'm gonna
Keaton.
go with
Or not Michael Keaton.
Roseanne.
Meredith Baxter.
Also a long-running show, Roseanne.
Roseanne, that's a good one too. 1988 to 2018, thanks to its comeback.
Yeah.
Right.
200.
They're still doing the Connors thing, right?
They are.
Didn't I
but
see that the
that's,
other day?
Yeah, but I don't think they're counting the Connors family as
Gotcha.
under the same name as Roseanne. 230 episodes regardless, and of course, well placed on this list.
The one I hate the most, I'm worried it's going to bite me because I hate it so much. but Full House, I think, started in late
Full
80s.
House sure did.
Yeah, Full House.
1987 ended in 1995, 193 episodes.
Yeah. Wow.
Oof.
Well, you can't watch the Full House without watching some Growing Pains. How long did that thing last?
Ah, shit.
Growing Pains lasted from 1985 to 1992 with 167
Wow.
episodes.
Kirk Cameron.
Kirk
right.
Cameron.
Oh no. I think that may have been 70s.
Frankenbeans.
I'll
Funky
say
Winter
facts of life. I don't know. I actually
Oh.
don't know
You take
on
the
that.
good, you take the bad, you take them both, and Facts of Life not on the list.
Oh no!
I just had to double
Was that
check.
Different Strokes, Facts of Life? That was like late 70s, right?
No,
70.
that was 80s, but they didn't last as
Was
long.
it?
Right?
I want to say Facts of Life lasted, aired 1979, first episode,
Oh,
August of 1979. 201 episodes, but
Yeah.
79.
Yeah, the first season was like not even the same people.
Dang it.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. You didn't get your, I think you had Tootie and Natalie, but you didn't get
Right.
your Blair or Joe or any of those.
Well, when did the Jeffersons happen? Was that 70s?
Oh, Jefferson's
late
was
70s.
definitely 70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew the one that preceded it was, what's it called?
Different Strokes.
No, the one that Jefferson spinned off from. I can't think
Oh,
of it.
I'm sorry. We're talking about Jefferson's. All in the Family.
Yeah, All in the Family. All in the Family I knew was 70s, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure about Jefferson's. But now that you say it, of course it was. Everybody looked like they were in the 70s.
That's exactly. I have to think about the clothing. Here's all the other things
did
you
we
could've-
did we do Frasier? Because
Frasier
Did that
didn't happen
start
until the
after-
90s. Frasier was after.
Cheers. Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember
Yeah.
if it like stepped right in or not.
Oh, I wish you would have
Frasier
said
was,
it.
1990.
Oh,
was
wow.
1990?
4?
93. Oh,
Three?
late,
Wow.
3 years into the 90s. Yeah.
Same year as
Oh,
Cheers
right,
ended.
because it
Yeah.
it started the same year Cheers ended. Here's all the other things you could have said: Murphy Brown, Family Matters, Coach,
I wasn't gonna say
Coach!
Night,
Shit.
Night Court, Newhart, The Golden Girls, Seinfeld.
Wait,
started
Seinfeld?
in the 80s.
I thought it started in
Seinfeld
90.
started in 1989.
Oh,
That is such a
All of
90s
1989.
thing to me.
It
It's
totally is.
100%
Designing
a 90s
Women,
thing.
Webster, Give Me a Break, Mama's
Oh.
Family,
Wait,
Close for
how long
Comfort.
did Webster go on for?
150 episodes,
Jesus
83 to
Christ.
89. Too Close for Comfort, Charles in Charge, Kate and Allie,
Hmm.
and It's a Living. The Three Close But No Cigars, Mr. Belvedere with 118 episodes, The Wonder Years with 115 episodes, and Alf with only 103 episodes.
That's too bad. Well, your mulligan saved you today, dude. Well done.
Totally.
You've-
Actually, the Mulligan both saved you and instituted a new rule, which I think I like.
I
as far
looked
as,
up on that one.
Yeah.
I
giving
really.
giving us show content, because otherwise it's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah,
And
as
we're
weird,
done. First
as weird
one
as
and
that
done.
is, like it totally worked. Well, all right. All I have to say then is well done, Anthony, because you picked the right horse.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
These things and more will be yours. All you got to, well, I shouldn't say and more. I don't know. This is all you're going to get. You just have to email Brian, coverville@gmail.com. He will send you codes. He will send you any physical things. I can't remember if you had any or not. No, they're both digital, right? Today? Both digital?
Everything's digital, yes.
So all you got to do is do that. How do you feel about your win today?
I feel great. Thank you for creating your own loophole, Brian. Appreciate it.
And doing it in real time. This is great. This is that's the kind of democracy we have here. We're willing to make constitutional changes on the fly as needed. Good job, Anthony, and we'll see you next time. All right.
I think this only happened a couple of times though, where we've actually stumbled right. Usually, it's a misunderstanding of the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost always, right?
Yeah,
It's like, oh, wait a minute, that neither. But yeah, in this case, I feel pretty good about that rule. I think that's a good rule. And Brian sometimes has contest or topics where getting that first error out of the way will actually help refine the rest of the game. Do you know what I'm saying? So we know,
right, right.
if that's
It's almost
not
like a
it, then-
sample question.
Yeah.
And now for your sample question.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little
like
bit.
you getting to say, well, would this qualify, to kind of break things down? By the way, I didn't say Perfect Strangers. I'm just looking at the list from Jamie. I thought I did 150 episodes for Perfect Strangers and started in 86. So
Freaking
that would have qualified, but
Definitely 86. I don't remember it being that many episodes though. It was how many seasons
Yeah.
was it?
8 seasons.
If you guys want to see the
I have
ultimate,
some seasons to watch then because
You
I
got-
only remember like 3.
here's what you want to do. You
What-
want to watch the ultimate reboot of Perfect Strangers. Watch watch it all, but make sure you watch season 3 of The Leftovers. And I won't tell you why.
I just gotta know. Go ahead.
But
true,
it's
yeah.
amazing. It's an amazing Perfect Strangers thing that you do not see coming. It's incredible. You have to watch it. Anyway, what, Brian?
Well, I gotta ask a question though. What do y'all remember the topics being from Perfect Strangers season 8? I don't remember anything past maybe season 3 tops.
I don't know. I didn't watch that show at
8
all.
years.
Yeah, I don't
8
think I
years?
ever saw a
Surely-
full episode of Perfect Strangers.
Surely after 8 years, he would have gotten rid of the accent. He no longer would have been. He would have to be totally acclimated to
Yeah.
the U.S.
Right,
I
exactly.
mean,
yes.
Did you
what
guys
were they
know?
exploring at that point?
Did you guys know there was an attempted reboot in 07? Let's see. It was called.
Really?
Oh no, that's Perfect Stranger with Halle Berry. Never mind.
No, that'd been great.
Yeah.
She's with Bronson Pinchot and Halle Berry.
Together at last.
Together at last.
For real on that Leftovers reference, it's an amazing turn. Anyway, Dunaway, you did it. Okay, here's the thing. Today, 3:30 Mountain Time, live here at frogpants.tv, and of course on the podcast thereafter, we'll be doing a Boop Show, and I've got the coolest indie game to talk about.
Thing.
I'm so excited.
Oh, very good.
It's so rad, yeah. It's
I
very,
have.
very cool.
I as well have a really cool indie game as well.
Oh, good. Well, then we'll be fighting over whose indie game is cooler. That's today at 3:30 Mountain Time. Come watch us and hang out with us. Brian, any final words before we kick you out unceremoniously?
I can't wait to lose my mind.
Bye. I can't wait to lose my mind.
Up in here, up in here.
Who does that?
That is DMX,
There you go.
I believe.
I liked that era of DMX, and then in particular that guy that was kind of crazy. What was his name? He rapped.
Not Coolio.
No, but it's that era, and it's that guy who is like, oh, I loved it because it was so weird. It was like, I can't narrow it down. I can't think of his name. But it was just like a Busta Rhymes. That's who I like.
Busta Rhymes. Okay. All right.
I
yeah.
like Busta Rhymes.
It's
lot.
funny, I like 4 people in chat room like, oh, crazy? Yeah, you must be talking about Busta Rhymes.
I think that guy had a cool thing going. All right. I don't know what he's doing now. Let's move on to... actually, we're going to take a break. When we come back...
Okay.
Oh, just a real quick note. Fred and Can should be up right now. It's not. It'll go up right after the show. I think I'm going to start putting it up after the show because if I put it up before, it's a little early for like West Coasters and stuff like that. And they sometimes miss it. So I'm going to put it up after the show. But today, we learned how Fred deals with maybe overindulging on Halloween. And
Oh,
that's a
no.
little
Okay.
bit of,
Wow.
a little bit of little spoiler there, maybe what's going on with him. So come feel his pain and understand where Can's coming from on Fred and Can, the webcomic about a guy who lives with a sentient can of expired cream corn over at fredandcan.com. That'll be up right after the show. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have Bill. Then we'll have major spoilers. And then we'll have more. But before any of that, Brian will regale us with a song that he has chosen from a vast library of music. Brian?
Yes, we're going to Minneapolis for this one.
Il y a plein de jeux auxquels j'ai hyper envie de jouer le jour de la sortie de la Baldistra Salodro, je l'ai où je dis vont et je l'ai je n'ai pas.
Moms don't have time to read books.
You dump the stream into the morning. This is the morning stream.
And we have returned, everyone. Welcome back. It's an interesting sound those guys have.
Yeah, very, very cool kind of 90s sound. Once again, that is Skittish and the song Devil Knows You're Dead from their brand new album Savannah Sessions. And they're awesome.
There you have it. All right. Welcome to the portion of the show where we have guests on. And,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tech people.
The studio ain't big enough for the two of us, Scott, but we're gonna try and make it work.
We'll make them fit. We can fit them. We'll fit him in. That's the plan anyway. So sit back, relax while I play this.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
Bill Duran joining us from the Pacific Northwest and the home of PunishedProps.com, a entity that makes amazing maker stuff, and a website and a YouTube channel that you should be subscribing to. Bill, welcome back to the program. How the heck are you?
Good morning. I'm doing all right. Got plenty of sleep last night. Feeling really good.
Oh man, you're lucky. I did not sleep well at all last night. So I'll take what you're having. What are you having?
I played about 6 hours of Shadow of War yesterday.
Oh,
I don't know if that helped.
Gosh,
but I did kill a lot of orc captains. And that made me feel good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with. By the way, that game. Also been playing it here and there lately. I've been on kind of a open world tear, sort of. That game is freaking great. It is really great. It got a bad rap at launch because it had this microtransaction crap that they pulled out, by the way, entirely. So
cool! I didn't even see that.
Yeah, and that's probably how it should be. But when it launched, there was ways that you could pay money to beef up your armies to take over the main objectives in each zone. That whole war mode thing. And it wasn't that egregious. You could still play the game without it, but they included it. This is back in a time, 2017, when that was starting to kind of be a problem, and it was cresting, let's say, that problem. And they responded by saying, you know what, we're pulling it all out, all of it. And they did. They took all the microtransactions out of the game entirely. And then I think some people just plumb forgot to check back, because at its core, that is an amazing sequel. It's an amazing game on its own. It's an incredible open world game. So good on you. That's the thing to be playing. Those orcs are badass.
That's not what I'm here to talk about, though.
Oh, shoot. We're not going to talk about giant orcs who go, "Oi, Ranger, I think you came to the wrong place again." You're not going to talk.
Walker.
I love those guys. The orcs in the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor games are so great. Anyway, sorry. You're getting me all excited. Let's talk about what you came here to talk about.
This past month or so, I've been working on a project. There's a prop that I've wanted for nearly 20 years.
Ooh.
So when I was a freshman in college, I first saw the show Trigun.
Oh, okay.
And instantly fell in love with it. I love the show, the characters, and the props are so cool. Especially Vash the Stampede's revolver. So I made it, finally. I built one.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so I'd never heard of this. Trigun, but
it's a freaking anime deal, right?
Animated, looking at it now. This is very cool, and I'm seeing on one screen the gun in animated form. I'm seeing on the other screen Bill's beautiful 3D actual object in tangible full resin plastic.
I'll make a comment here that I tried to watch this show based on a couple of recommendations. I was on a bit of a I had a need in anime for a while there, and I was asking people what I should watch, and everyone's, "Oh, watch Trigun. If you've never seen it, you'll love it. It's kind of weird, westerny, kind of cool thing." So I watched it, and the part of the problem why I didn't continue it is I could never get past that guy's stupid 2 hair things that hang down in his face. You know what I'm talking about? The blonde dude. I hate that in anime when they got the 2 strands of like freaking ribbon hair in your face.
Yeah, right.
It's the smallest, dumbest thing. I couldn't get past it.
They look like hair fangs.
Yeah, hair fangs.
Trying to eat his eyes.
There you go.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you were 19 years old like I was when you watched it for the first time, you would have thought it was the coolest thing ever. Which I did.
You get past your issues with the
hair.
Yeah.
Now
awesome.
I love the prop. I love the show, but I also have a thing for big chunky revolvers. Like I've done Hellboy Samaritan, or the hand cannons in Destiny, or the revolvers in Borderlands.
Yeah, even the Blade Runner gun is a big chunky hand.
Yep, and it is a revolver too. All the mechanisms inside are a revolver. My Vash's gun there is 3D printed, totally 3D printed. So what I did was I went through and I rewatched every episode of Trigun, and I'd screen captured a video clip every time the gun showed up, just about every single time. And then I went through all of those clips frame by frame to grab reference images of the gun so that I could 3D model my own. Now I'm here to tell you, that gun changes from shot to shot and scene to scene, episode to episode. So I had to kind of make some take not necessarily artistic liberties, but I had to make some decisions on the way I wanted it to look.
Sure.
I then took those screenshots and I made a blueprint of the side of it to kind of get an idea for the scale and the shape and everything. And I printed that out and spray mounted it to some cardboard so that I had a two-dimensional thing I could hold and test the size on it, the scale, to make sure I had that just right.
Right.
And only after all of that work was done did I start 3D modeling it.
Oh, interesting.
And that's where most of the work was, 3D modeling and testing it.
Does that bug you a little bit that in animated projects like this or animated source material where you're trying to duplicate something that they're often not great about? Consistency with the items.
Here's an example of a 2D show where there's some interesting challenges. The show Sailor Moon, right? We all know what Sailor Moon looks like.
Sure.
She has a skirt, and if you look at her in the show from whatever angle, the skirt sort of makes a U shape that is always facing the camera. I don't know if that quite makes sense, but basically her skirt rotates to match the camera.
Oh, I see.
Not a problem. Not a problem in 2D.
Right.
You just draw the frame that way. But in 3D, that skirt literally has to rotate around her waist.
Yeah.
Right.
To make it work. Same thing with Mickey's ears. Mickey Mouse's ears always face the camera.
Yeah, you never see like side view.
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
flat discs
never thought of that. That's crazy.
So I didn't run into anything quite like that, but it was still a challenge.
Yeah.
I am amazed that you're not just building like a static, here's the gun, here's the revolver, really cool. I'm watching you mount or like sculpt out and figure out the inner workings to actually make the trigger work, to make it rotate the chamber or the barrel.
That's because Bill's crazy. That's
he is crazy, dude. You're crazy.
Yeah,
this is brilliant though.
It was about a month and a half of that. So actually, getting those mechanisms to work and fit properly with one another was most of the work. So I ended up 3D modeling, 3D printing, test fitting, and then remodeling and reprinting parts over and over again. I believe the receiver was printed at least 6 or 7 times to get it just right.
Wow.
So
this is incredible.
So do you even feel like you're like, hey, I just want to do a resin gun again? Does that ever even cross your mind? You've crossed over into like detail land.
I need to make moving parts. I need it.
Okay.
Moving parts are so cool.
That's what I thought you were going to say. That's great. All right, sorry, continue.
So here's the list of features. The kit has 31 parts. It's got a lot of pieces. And it breaks open for reloading, which is really neat. So you can pop that thing open. I bought and installed some dummy bullets that are actual brass and lead, which is really cool. It is a double action revolver. So you can pull the hammer back and it cocks it, and then you pull the trigger and it fires it. Or you can just pull the trigger and it does all of that at once. It does both of those things, which I'm particularly proud of because I didn't have that in my Blade Runner gun. Also, when you pull the trigger or pull the hammer back, it rotates the cylinder, which is cool. Pretty close to how a real gun works.
Yeah.
Also, when you spin the cylinder manually, like put your hand on it and just spin it, it makes this noise.
Oh, dude, it ratchets.
Yeah.
Oh, this is incredible. Yeah, I mean, this looks like I'm looking at you working the mechanism on the inside here, and this thing looks like it could actually fire a bullet. Like it, the hammer would hit the bullet square in the back center and actually fire the dang thing.
The thought has crossed my mind as I was modeling this whole thing that like, boy, I'm awfully close to just making a real gun here. Pretty close. Now, I will say Vash's gun is different than many other revolvers. There are some real world ones where the barrel is on the bottom. It fires out of the bottom cylinder. Now the hammer, they don't really say how that's supposed to work in the show, because the hammer connects at the top. So I don't know how that's supposed to work in the context of the show.
Yeah.
But it is pretty close to what a real world revolver how it would operate. I did a lot of research. I have an airsoft revolver that I used as inspiration for the mechanisms. Now, that's obviously a lot different than a real revolver, but the action is all very, very similar.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of mesmerized
by
this video.
And then, of course, I sanded the crap out of it and painted it all shiny like
Yeah, like you do.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have to point out that I made the files for this available for sale. So if anyone else wants to make their own, you can head over to punishprops.com and buy the files. They're cheap. There's a lot of them. The same way I did it with the Blade Runner gun. So if you're interested in either one of those and you have a 3D printer at home, you can just download it, buy it, download it, and make your own. I also made a separate video that's just showing the assembly, like an overhead view of how all the parts go together. So if you are going to print your own, then you can watch that for more instruction. Of course, we've got the full-on video over at punishprops.com.
Getting kind of a Hellboy gun. What's that thing called? Not Reaper. What's it called? Whatever it's called.
The Samaritan.
The Samaritan, yeah.
The Samaritan is actually not as long as this gun. This gun is
really
gigantic, yeah.
But it's wider, right?
It is wider,
yeah, much wider.
Have you ever made one of those, like, Square Enix likes to put these in their games, but one of those guns that are gun and sword?
Gunblade?
Yeah, Gunblade. Have you made one
I
of
have
those?
not, no.
Is that what the kids are calling them these days?
Isn't there a gun and a blade called a gun something?
Yeah.
Isn't there a gun something called something blade?
You should make one. Those are so badass. I'm not even like that big of a fan of the games they're featured in or any of the anime they're featured in, but I really like the look of.
They're pretty cool. Yeah.
Gunblade,
cool. In a lot of the stuff that you 3D print, you want it to actually have some weight to it, right?
Sure.
Like, what do you do for that? Because I actually went to Ace Hardware and picked up a bunch of brass washers.
Mm-hmm.
These things you can hear.
Brass washers.
They've got some brass.
Those funky
washers. Because like I did a 3D printed iPhone stand. I think you saw on Twitter, and it just needed some weight, and I tried doing like little channels to put a bunch of pennies in to give it some weight, but it just didn't give it enough. These brass washers do the trick, but is there like a better, can you get like blocks of heavy metal that you can drop into things to make them?
What I've done in the past is I will design a prop. Usually the props I 3D print are in multiple pieces. And the way I put them together, like I've done with my gun here, is that the fittings and hardware are all metal. So this gun actually has a bunch of 1/8 inch steel pins in it, holding glued parts together. Or if I did I did the sword from Steven Universe, the blade was put together with a long, I think a 1/4 inch threaded steel rod. So there's a piece of steel going through that whole thing, and it does give it some good weight. Yeah. Now, I will say people frequently ask me about making props heavier, and I'm here to tell you that you don't want your prop to be heavier. If you're going to carry it around at a convention all day, you want it to be as light as possible. My District 9 gun was 17 pounds, and I'm here to tell you that's way too damn heavy.
After one day walking around with that thing, Dragon Con. Yeah.
An hour, not even a day. An hour into that, and you just get so tired.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
This is a very satisfying way, and I will say the brass dummy bullets really give it that helps a lot.
Wow, I'm just watching, and you're using all these things that you showed us or talked about last week in the on that site where you bought the springs and
McMaster car,
McMaster car, right? Oh yeah, this is great.
McMaster car, such a cool name. All right, well, this looks amazing. Of
Very
course,
cool,
and is available currently on his site and on the YouTube channel. So punishprops.com is where you'll find all of it. Bill, any bonus content for today?
Absolutely. So I got a video, drop it in the chat for you guys. Alex, French Guy Cooking, or I guess his channel is just called Alex now. He made his dream saucepan. Oh. He went to I think Istanbul, to the place where they make these pans by hand, and followed along as they went through all the steps to make a saucepan from scratch, and it's gorgeous.
And is he a French
man?
Look
at this guy's hair, Scott.
Oh, I know, it's amazing. Is he French? This guy, is he French?
Extremely.
Listen to this.
Il y a plein de jeux auxquels j'ai hyper envie de jouer le jour de la sortie de la Baldistan.
By the way, that's Patrick Beja, and then that's Patrick Beja backwards. So
Salle de jeu et où je n'y vendrai.
It's hard to tell there's any difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't tell. Yeah, French sounds the same forward and backwards.
Like, no, that's great.
Palindromic language.
Go check it out. I forged my dream saucepan, says Alex, and he's.
Look at this thing. That's cool.
Oh yeah. How do you even? My wife would do this. She wants to make her own saucepan. She's
I
always
mean, just the
complaining.
fact that you know exactly what you need, you know what material you want it to be, size and all that stuff. This is great.
Yep. Check it out. That's available on YouTube as well. Bill Duran, punishprops.com. And if you want to follow him on Twitter, he's always got fun stuff to say. He's at Chinbeard. Bill, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
I'll see you in the new world, whatever that is, next week. Why does tomorrow feel like such a dividing line?
Because it's a dividing line. I mean, it is the epitome of...
I guess it is. I guess it is.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm in a surprisingly optimistic mood about everything at the moment, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow. Hey, let's move on. Let's call our friend Steven Schleicher.
Yeah.
He's at Major Spoilers. And, man, he should be proud of me because I have been reading so much comics lately.
Oh, good.
I don't know if he'll be proud of me or not, but I'm going to play this. Steven Schleicher joining us all the way from Hays, Kansas, and Major Spoilers headquarters at majorspoilers.com. Getting over a little bit of a cold. How you feeling, dude? You doing all right?
About 60%. Hello, Scott. Hello, Brian.
60.
I love the percentage. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, Brian's always a fan. You've been that since I've known Brian. It was always a percentage, so it's good to know. It's good to know you do that as well, I guess. Now it gives us a good quantifiable idea of how you're feeling. 60's not great though. I'd love you in the 80 range. I want you to feel better.
We want you higher.
This is week 2, so it's not great. So.
It's not the Rona, right? No Rona?
No, there's no. We kind of tracked it. That what probably happened is I overexhausted myself, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, going for like 4 and 7 mile walks in the cold and the fog, and then I think I just got a chest thing that exploded up into my head and is now back into my chest, and I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, it sounds like that. I mean, that sore throat thing I had last week was just vicious. But it was like a normal fall thing. Like I get them all every year in the fall. And so it's probably just something like that. Well, I hope everyone's all right. And the rest of the family okay? Everybody else is good?
Yeah, pretty much. I've been sleeping on the couch to avoid contaminating people with my germs. Although I do have a very scary Halloween story.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, really?
So,
I love a good scary Halloween story.
In my office, I have a motion activated switch to turn on the lights so that if I wander out of the room to go do something and I forget to come back in, the lights will shut off by themselves.
Yeah.
But I've been putting a piece of tape over the switch so that the lights don't turn on if I'm trying to sleep on the couch.
Right.
And so came down Saturday night. I didn't even make it to Halloween. I slept for like 14 hours on Saturday night. But I came down and I just put the tape over the switch. Lights went out. I laid down, not even moving. Like 10 minutes later, the lights popped back on.
Oh.
And I was like, there is no way that light, I even got up because scary. I was like, well, I have to turn off the light. But I even got up and there's nothing that would have activated that switch, but it just came on.
I don't like that at all. No.
I know, right?
Scary,
so there's a Halloween story for everybody.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Well, here on the Day of the Dead or whatever it's called, I got a thing to tell you real quick and then we'll get to the content. I've been reading comics like a freak. I don't know what my deal is, but I am like way back in on everything I've been reading. Okay, I'll tell you this experience I had. I did get the DC thing. It's like $7 a month. It's going to roll over to the newer version of whatever they're doing when that happens. But for now, it's there's 30,000 comics on there. It's worth subbing for, I think. And I started reading the relatively new series. Started in last year, I guess, and is still ongoing. But the weird alternate universe thing called, I forgot the name, hold on. Oh, Deceased, but it's spelled like DC and then East.
Right.
It's basically a zombie take on the DC universe. And I really thought, number one, going into it, I was going to hate it because I usually hate these conceits. And number two, I got deep into it and got to a point where the virus in this story, it's not a spoiler if you're looking forward to reading it, because they tell you right away, but basically the virus is spread through human-to-human contact, but also social media contact. So, like, you could send the virus comes through Twitter or something or through Facebook, and you can get it by looking at it. And so I thought that sounded so dumb, and I was like, that's the dumbest idea. I think I'm out. But then I stuck with it, And man, if I am not enjoying the hell out of Deceased, I really like it.
I know a lot of people really like it. It's a top seller.
It should
for
be.
everything.
It's freaking fantastic.
The weird thing is it's the anti-life equation is what it is, Brian.
Right.
This was something that they tried to do back in, I think just before 52 started. They had something where Darkseid finally had found the anti-life equation and it was spreading through everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the same thing, but everyone's forgotten about the previous story.
Yeah.
So this is picking that up. And Scott, if you like Deceased, wait until you see what Dynamite Entertainment is doing. It's Dynamite.
Oh, no way.
And it's the same. It's the same zombies. What if
I'll read
zombies.
that. I like that stuff, so I'm all in. There's a scene. Who's the giant woman in DC that can turn into a big giant tall walking lady?
Giganta.
Is that I thought Giganta was Marvel. No, Giganta's DC.
She's DC.
I can't keep track of these.
I think so.
Maybe Titania is the Marvel equivalent or something.
But the trippy thing here is the heroes don't have any. If they catch it by whatever means they get it, they can't. There's no stopping it. There's no resistance to it. So a hero like Superman or whatever, if he got it, he'd have it, but he would retain all the horrible powers that Superman would have in that context. So he'd be just a horrible weapon of just mass destruction and chaos. And so that's how they, various heroes do get it. Others heroes, are around and trying to make everything work and whatever. It's a very interesting take on all of it. But there's this scene with Giganta and who's the robot guy? My brain.
Cyborg.
There's a scene with Cyborg and Giganta that is just one of the most shocking moments in comics. I freaking loved it so much. So anyway, I guess I'm just here to make a recommendation. I think Deceased is weirdly good and probably should be read by people. And I'm sad there's only like 3 issues up on the service so far. I gotta wait for.
Yeah, it is still ongoing. There's a spin-off series. It's Deceased. It's Hope at World's End is the spin-off series.
I would read that too. I'm gonna go find it then. I don't know if I'm 6.
And then make sure you go read Marvel Zombies if you haven't read Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, similar deal, right? And that was a what's his name joint, Walking Dead guy joint, right? He wrote that.
No, that wasn't Robert Kirkman. What it was it spun out of the Ultimate Comics, Ultimate Fantastic Four, where they unlocked a zombie dimension, and then those zombies got into the main Marvel universe.
Why did I think that was a Kirkman joint? Are you sure? Yeah, here, written by Robert Kirkman. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was like his big thing.
Back to the well there, Robert Kirkman.
Didn't that put him on the map? And he was like, "I'm going to do my zombie story now," and he went and did his zombie story. Anyway, I thought I was right about that. Anyway, that's great. I'm reading tons of comics. I love comic books. They're great. So that's why we have Steven on, because not only do we get to talk about comics, but the extended world of other things that are connected to them. So what are we talking about today, Steven? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, how about we talk about that extended world of The Mandalorian?
Oh.
Did you guys get to watch the first episode?
Yes. I have not yet.
Oh, Brian.
Oh, I know. I told Tina, I said, this is one I want to watch day and date. And so we are going to watch it tonight, but so don't worry. Spoil it, whatever. That's totally
I
fine.
was a day late on it, so I understand the lateness, and I was trying to avoid spoilers and everything. And I was able to do it, but man.
Without spoilers, because you will want to watch until you think the show is over, but keep watching, because there's a thing at the very end that is kind of a big thing that I won't reveal.
Do you guys ever feel like you're watching a thing that they wrote specifically for you? Have you ever felt like that?
Well, this is certainly it, especially for fans of Deadwood, because Timothy Olyphant, I always call him Olyphant, shows up in this as kind of the marshal of this mining town. Yeah. I wonder where we've heard that before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he and the Mandalorian have to team up with the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
Which plays off very much like in a Western where the Native Americans and the town folk have to work together to defeat a common enemy.
Yeah.
And so that plays off really, really well in this episode. But if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss 2 really big cameo appearances.
Right.
The first, John Leguizamo, appears in the show for like a hot second.
Yeah.
His voice, at least.
Yeah, it's great.
And
I
then
assume he probably did a mocap for that too, I assume.
No,
probably.
He didn't. They
he
actually
didn't?
had somebody else do the mocap for that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. The second one is the proprietor of the bar in the small town, Weequay.
Yeah.
Is played by W. Earl Brown, who played Dan in Deadwood as well.
Deadwood.
So we kind of got a little Deadwood reunion.
It's a Deadwood reunion. You got Dan, who was like the one of Swearengen's top captain guys, the kind of heavier set guy with the long hair and the
with the mustache.
Dan,
so
get down there.
Weequay,
Go ahead.
Isn't Weequay one of the Jabba's henchmen, or we see Weequay in the movies, right?
I think so. At least I don't think it's the same person, but maybe it's that species or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
species
But
of dude.
yeah,
So
was
when he
really
showed
good.
up, and I had no
Jabba's,
idea this was Dan until I went and
on the
looked it up.
barge.
And I went and looked it up, and I went, oh my gosh, they're having a Deadwood reunion, except they're kind of on the opposite side of the law. In Deadwood and here, they're kind of pals, but like him and Timothy Oliphant hanging out, I was just like, my gosh, what are you doing to me? You're just writing this for me, and the entire story feels like it was for me. The concept of the whole thing feels like it's just like, hey Scott, we know you like these 5 or 6 ideas, and you talk about them incessantly. How about a whole episode that just touches on all the things you think you're obsessed with? That's what happened. Brian, you're going to love this episode. It's so good.
Cool.
Yeah, and the first time that you see Timothy Oliphant show up, he looks just like Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, it does, kind of weird. It's his hair. It's that hair and the
the
salt
hair and the
pepper.
goatee and the
Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah, so Weequay is a Star Wars race of aliens, and we have seen some, but like mostly the ones I'm looking at were ones in Rebels, and like Hondo Ohnaka is a Weequay, and
Oh my gosh.
gotcha. Okay.
He doesn't look
Yeah.
anything
Oh, I
like
can't wait to watch this.
Yeah.
They
Clone
do go
Wars,
back to
that's
Tatooine, so the remotest planet out in the Spiral Arm sure gets a lot of play in this Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
so much stuff happens on this forgotten desert planet.
And you're gonna go when it gets to the very and you're right. Do not get up or go pee at the end. There's
because you're going to get to the point. It's like, okay, that's over. Mandalorian and the child are riding off into the desert with a big old thing on their bike, and that's it. And then you're going to say, no, don't.
I never leave the credits because there are always these beautifully painted scenes from the show. They're just so gorgeous.
Yeah, and this is no different than that. It's very, very good. So you're gonna love it. I can't wait to hear what you think. Because
so if you also saw one more thing here before we go. The one other thing that you probably saw blow up on your timelines this past week were all the life-size The Childs showing up on everyone's Instagram and everyone's feed. Those are the Hot Toy or the Sideshow Collectibles, The Child figure. It's life-size, accurate into some super incredible detail. It is so lifelike. It looks incredibly cool. If you want to get one, you can't, because those were pre-ordered like 8 months ago, back about the first time the first season was running. But you can pre-order the second wave, which will probably come in March of 2021. $375 if you want one of those.
oh my gosh, were those mostly people that were like influencers and got them as a way to show them off and get people to buy
I'm
them?
sure Adam Savage did. I saw one other person in my timeline who I know she didn't purchase one and said that she got it sent to her, but a lot of people went out and bought these things because the minute that Sideshow announced them, people were like, gimme. And I originally thought this was going to be a limited run of these things, but apparently Sideshow is like, well, I think we can extend this license with Disney and push these out a little bit more. Now, this I don't believe is posable. I think it is kind of maybe it's arm's move, but it is kind of in a fixed position, kind of looking up at you, kind of thing. It's great.
Can it push fire back? Because we could really use that.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Guessing that's a thing.
That's just a movie thing. You're
your
saying?
little silver gear shift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just all in on this. Like the funny thing about it is I was not worried, but I was just like, all right, you struck lightning with the first season. You know, sometimes season 2 sophomore effort can be a little tricky.
Sophomore slump. Yeah.
And it may still, we have a whole season ahead of us. I don't know, but man, talk about just hitting all your marks in your first episode. It's just great.
Well,
so
one thing that you can kind of attribute that to is the fact that Dave Filoni and what's his face, Jon Favreau,
Jon Favreau, yeah,
are still in charge.
Right.
When Iron Man was coming out, people were like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, Jon Favreau, go do whatever the heck you want."
Yeah.
And he created the Marvel Universe and kind of set the tone for everything going forward. But then it was kind of immediately taken away from him and given to everyone else. Here, they're letting Filoni and Favreau just kind of continue to run with this and take a hands-off approach, which is really surprising considering that it's Disney. And I don't know how much, I say hands-off approach. We don't know how much manipulation is going on, but I think from the Lucasfilm side, they're kind of just like, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. We trust you.
Yeah, I those guys need to stay where they're at and not let someone else do this, unless they're great and you can prove it to me that they're great, because they're really killing it with this. It is Star Wars to me, and I'm sorry, but those last 3 movies pale compared to this. He is. I heard a joke the other day that Pedro Pascal was in the hospital recovering from having to shoulder the entire weight of the Star Wars universe on his back. And you know what? It feels like that. It's just it is so Star Wars to me in every way. I don't even need Jedis, and we kind of have some of that, but I don't need that stuff. I don't need the Skywalker trilogy anymore. I'm good. Or the Skywalker story or saga. Just give me these interesting stories, apply some old ideas. I mean, I realize they're templating the hell out of it with concepts from Kurosawa movies and old westerns, and like I know they're doing that, but I'm fine with it. Like, it just tonally is so right and so good. It's just what I want. So keep making it and don't stop ever. Real quick here, Steven. Got a note here about Marvel. Well, we talked about this a little bit on the show, but Marvel Unlimited is releasing comics sooner, 3 months instead of 6 months. This in light of, the announcement came after DC's new plan, which was going with the 6 months. And now I don't know if this puts any pressure on them to do anything, so I'd be curious what your take on that. But how do you feel overall about Marvel saying, yeah, what if we gave them to you sooner?
I think Marvel and DC are both late to the party, because here's what's going on. Over at Comixology Unlimited, Archie Comics and several other small publishers have already announced day and date release for their Unlimited service. So if you like the Archie stuff, man, the day that it's at your local comic shop, you can read it on Comixology Unlimited. I have a feeling that is what we're going to see over the next 6 months, a battle to see who can get those unlimited subscribers. Mm-hmm. So, Scott, if you're a Comixology Unlimited subscriber, they want to keep you around. Yeah. But I think we're going to look and see Marvel and DC and all these others really jockeying to see who can get their stuff out fast enough to where they can get more of those ongoing subscription dollars. Because that's kind of where it's at. Unfortunately, people subscribe to something and then they forget about it.
Right.
And I think that's what they want with these digital comics.
Yeah, I hope that whole space stays really competitive, because I think that's good for readers. You know, competing on price, competing on release dates, competing on access to what content you've got, where are your indies. Like, the biggest strength of Comixology right now is the indies and the other publishers that I get. Stuff I would never get otherwise, and I've discovered some really great, amazing things over there. But when I want my mainstream fix, I get that from Marvel and DC, but they're also a little bit more money. They have this 6-month thing. Like, there's all these reasons to sort of hope that they all continue to compete, and ultimately we'll get the better thing than if there was just like one comics app to rule them all, sort of thing.
Right.
One other thing I was going to tell you, I started reading Superman, Batman, which is the newer run of this, and I forget the name of the artist, but I think I may have found my new favorite artist working at DC. It's so good. He's so good, and I can't remember his name, or I'd recommend it. But if you have the DC app, and I think it might even be in Comixology, some of this, but it's basically just stories of Superman and Batman tooling around, getting shit done, and. And they're great. The art in them is selling me on the entire thing. The story's okay too, but the art is killer. Anyway.
I am looking probably at the second arc of this right now, but is it Clayton Henry? Is that who you're?
No, the name was. I want to say sounded maybe like Latino last name. I can't remember his name. It's so good,
I will look here at Majorspoilers.com using the handy search engine, and
there you go.
It looks Batman Superman #1. Oh, David Marquez.
That's it. Okay. David Marquez. I love his art. Oh my gosh, it's kind of a Jim Lee meets. Like if Alex, there's a painterly quality to it, but not so Alex Ross painterly that it's just paintings. But there's also this Jim Lee quality to it, and it's like this weird combination of stylized and real, and there's something about it. It just really got me. I really like it.
Yeah, cool.
Like a lot. Anyway, so there you go. Good stuff all around here, and yeah. You know what I'd like? If all these guys, Marvel, DC, everybody, just started saying, okay, the physical issues are out month 1. A month after goes digital. And then there'll be some cases where they go digital day and date because that makes sense and whatever to go ahead and do that. But for all the stuff they're worried about, the comic books and stuff, put out the big shipment. People who want to have it day and date in physical form will get them. And then 30 days later, put them on digital.
Well, we already have them on digital day and date, right? But the problem is that's you buy them single individual digital.
Yeah.
So you're still paying full cover price, and that's the big sticking point.
Sure.
Is the brick and mortars are, if you charge anything less on digital than what we can charge in the store, we will ban your books from our store forever, and that's got the publisher spooked, even though it really shouldn't.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about is let's get it day and date on the unlimited services. To where you're not paying the $4.99 an issue. Yeah. And that, like I said, I think that's going to be the big battleground coming up in the next year.
Right.
I was surprised when Archie did it. There was very little to no backlash from comics retailers. So I think at this point, they're just more concerned about can we even bring people into our store, and what are we doing to try to bring people into our store, as opposed to fighting over digital comics.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just such a subscription guy that I just want this all to work out in my direction.
Yeah.
But that's very selfish of me, and there are
nothing wrong with that at all.
There's other other people have other interests in all of this, but what I want is just a stream of comics for $10 a month that I can read until eternity is over. That's what I want. But I'm not going to get it. All right, Stephen, always a pleasure. I hope you continue to feel better, dude.
I hope so too.
Yeah. And people at home, go check out majorspoilers.com. You hear us say it all, every Monday, but we mean it. It's an amazing place to go find the latest and greatest. And, of course, follow Stephen on Major Spoilers on Twitter. Stephen, have a fantastic election day tomorrow.
Stay hydrated.
All right. You already voted, right? You voted.
I voted. I dropped mine off, and I even tracked it. There's a website you can go to track to see what the status of your ballot is, and mine was tracked, submitted, and accepted. So.
Sweet. We did a drive-up thing as well, and we also have the tracking, although I haven't checked it, so I should probably check it. But yes, vote. If you haven't done it already, go out there, wear a mask, stay safe, and do it.
And if you've already done it once, go out and do it again.
Yeah, and still stay hydrated while you're in line. No, don't do it again, Brian. That's a federal offense, Brian. Brian, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. You can't.
Right. I'm kidding.
He's a josher. See you later, Stephen. Okay. Well, we've done it. We've done it. We did what we came here to do. We have one more thing to do. And that's a mashup, a Monday morning mashup. It's called the Family Finger. The Family Finger.
Oh, God. this phrase, but still, yeah. Right,
sounds dangerous. But TMS Mashups, a.k.a. Jamie Brand, put this together as he always does on Mondays, and here it is now.
That's it. I'm never picking up the phone again.
It's a devil's receiver. I'm not doing it.
A floopiness.
Zip, zam, boom, bam, flip, flam, boom, done. Marvel Unlimited's going to start putting out their comics more quickly than 6 months, because right now it's 6 months, and that's awesome. Water. I spilled water. When you push this button, it makes you take a shit. You're only allowed in here if you're French. Sorry, that's the rules.
Get me out of here!
Get me out of this elevator!
Right open with a baguette! Oh. The Wi-Fi sucks. I can't get showtime.
My husband's penis is flaccid.
Sûrement cet ascenseur, Gerard Depardieu, going to pee on me. Oh,
wow. I would have never guessed.
It really adds a bunch of stuff, Google Translate.
Yeah, sure does. What would that even be?
It's good Thanksgiving movies. I don't know. I mean, Planes, Trains, Automobiles. What's another Thanksgiving movie? Meet My Parents. Something.
The Family Finger, whatever it is.
Yeah, Family Finger.
Wait, what is that one? Family Finger, right? The finger. They're flipping you off in the poster. The Family Stone. The Family Stone. That's
Family
it.
Stone.
If this sort of stuff tickles your fancy at all, grab it.
Hey man, what exactly is fancy, and why would you want to tickle it?
You really?
I hear that a lot.
I get kicked off Twitch if I put it on camera. I can't show you my.
Okay,
fancy.
don't show me your fancy. Okay,
not
so
allowed.
you don't need to lay down on the bed to tuck in your fancy.
No, I don't. I regret that Reddit was created and people post pornography. I would play it right now if I had it in front of me. I loved Advanced Wars.
Loved it. I would let it touch my fancy.
Yeah, let it rub your fancy. Who was in all the movies with I gotta stop thinking of names today. She was in all the Woody Allen movies. And then
not Mia Farrow.
The other one. She's in
Diane Weiss.
No, the other one. She's like her though. She's famous.
Played Annie Hall.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Who's that? That's
Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton. Yes.
Jeez Louise, that was hard to get out. Anyway, but I think it's her finger that's flipping the bird. Either that or Rachel McAdams.
Okay.
Just going.
I just don't think I want to watch a movie called The Family Finger.
Don't watch The Family Finger. It's the porn version of The Family.
The story of the Weinstein.
Oh, no, please. Oh my gosh, that was a good one. Jammy. Well done, Jammy. I'm going to call you Jammy from now on.
Jammy.
Good job.
Jammy.
Quick note to any of our older listeners, not that you're the only ones targeted here, but watch out for emails that say, welcome to 2021 open enrollment. Here in this country, we have an enrollment thing for the healthcare deal, the Affordable Care Act. And on here it says, get cover with this open enrollment period.
Get cover.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's a way to get me?
Yeah, I'm sure this is legitimate. I'm sure it's 100%.
Yeah,
they spelled premiums
totally
wrong. Deductibles is spelled wrong. Copays is spelled wrong. The link, if I hover over the link, it takes me to some horrific weird. I'm just saying, be careful. Don't click stuff. Yeah. You're going to get fished right now. Just watch it.
It sounds too legit to quit.
Too legitimate to quit it. All right. That's it for the show. We're done. A reminder that I mentioned Boop Show. I mentioned Fred and Can. What else is today? That's probably it on my side. But there'll be more stuff, so stick around, I guess. Hey, Skim. There'll be a Skim today. That's what I meant to mention. Kim and I are going to record that right after this. Frogpants.com/TMS is our website, and if you'd like to support this goings-on, this ongoing concern known as TMS, you can do that at patreon.com/TMS. Let's get out of here with music. And I don't know what we're doing, but we're going to play some. What do you got over there?
We're doing a song that's going out to Heather Brown. She wrote in and said, happy anniversary to my husband, Dan. Dan, 10 years ago, I married my best friend, and the journey so far has been amazing.